MK-Ultra was a covert project overseen by the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, in the 1950s and 1960s. Its main objective was to explore mind control techniques and potential chemical substances for manipulation. The methods employed were diverse, including the use of psychedelics like LSD, as well as electroshocks, sensory deprivation, and hypnosis. The goal was to develop techniques that could be used for interrogation, espionage, as well as creating false memories to allow the CIA to turn people into controlled assassins. The project's existence and unethical nature were revealed in the 1970s, leading to public outrage and subsequent investigations. The CIA didn't start with MK-Ultra. The first CIA program that looked into using drugs for mind control and advanced interrogation was Project Artichoke. This was the first time the CIA really experimented in what happened when people were exposed to drugs like LSD for long periods of time. While the CIA was starting this research, they realized they needed test subjects, which led to many officers being exposed to LSD and other drugs. Imagine being unknowingly drugged with LSD for 77 days by the CIA. Records show that was the life of one CIA agent during Project Artichoke, the CIA's precursor experiment to MK-Ultra, that looked to research new methods of interrogation. This operation officially began in 1951 and involved CIA's Office of Scientific Intelligence conducting experiments on unwitting agents, often drugging them for long periods of time without their knowledge. Agents also drugged others with cocaine, marijuana, heroin, peyote and mescaline, and even tried to get people addicted to morphine, only to stop slipping them doses to cause extreme withdrawal. Project Artichoke also looked into using viruses, such as dengue fever, to incapacitate enemies. Agents were also put under hypnosis and put into extreme states of isolation, all to see the impact of psychological harassment on interrogations. Artichoke was also the first time the CIA thought of using hypnosis to create assassins, but not to kill foreign enemies. A since-leaked CIA report states that if hypnosis succeeded, assassins could be created to assassinate a prominent politician or, if necessary, an American official. This is just one example of the dozens of absolutely frightening CIA programs. As the CIA's mind control program advanced, it was officially given the MK-Ultra designation, and hundreds of subprojects were carried out in the US and across the world. One of the most well-known is Subproject 68, or the Montreal experiments. Were used to CIA projects involving insane quantities of drugs, but during MK-Ultra Subproject 68, the CIA took things to twisted new heights. This study was conducted by CIA-affiliated psychiatrist Donald Ewan Cameron from 1957 until 1964. Cameron thought he could de-pattern the brain, freeing it of broken memories and thought patterns, curing mental illness. His method involved putting patients into an artificial coma for as long as 80 days and injecting them with high doses of LSD. He then played his now sleeping and high victims repetitive audio recordings for them, thinking the recording's message would be absorbed better. Once they were awake, patients would be subjected to extreme electroshock therapy, to the point of convulsions, for up to 40 days straight. Finally, Cameron would look to repattern the patient. First, he would inject them with high doses of LSD and paralyzing agents. The patient was then strapped down, where they were conscious but unable to move and forced to listen to the same sentences and commands up to 500,000 times a day. This took place in a pitch-black room with absolutely no external stimulus for 20 days straight. In the first 10 days, the audio messages are only negative and filled with personal attacks, while the final 10 days have only positive messages. Though Cameron believed these extreme methods would free people from mental illness, the results didn't show that. Results showed that the treatments, if you can even call them that, caused much more harm than good. And one particular case highlights the personal impacts for the victims. Jane Steele's daughter alleges she suffered through MK-Ultra Subproject 68, and that her mother was never the same again, spending her days in dark rooms, mumbling incoherently and writing strange codes on the walls. She wasn't alone. The families of over 300 Canadians claimed their loved ones experienced Subproject 68 and were left with shattered minds, unable to even go to the washroom. Feeling helpless, they applied to the Canadian government for compensation in 1992. Only 77 people received $100,000, and only if they agreed they wouldn't try to sue the government or medical facilities involved again. They also had to sign a NDA. There was also an American class action lawsuit in 1988, where an unknown number of victims were awarded $67,000 each. The other alleged victims were either told they weren't tortured enough or that there were no medical records to prove they suffered, because the CIA destroyed most records of MK Ultra. Dr. Cameron withdrew from the program early and died of a heart attack a few years later in 1967. He was never punished or held responsible and was serving as president of the World Psychiatric Association while heading Subproject 68. In 2017, the Canadian government settled out of court with another woman, giving her $100,000 in exchange for dropping the legal case and signing a NDA, showing they still have no interest in revealing the truth. As of 2023, neither governments have issued formal apologies and no one was ever punished or held accountable. This is just an entry point into the various unethical experiments conducted by the CIA and US government. Make sure you like this video and follow the page to catch our upcoming videos on other CIA projects and various other historical topics from the ancient world to modern times.